And good morning, YouTube. It's a cold morning down here in North Carolina. I think it's Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. It is cold. It's a little frosty. But I was looking at the weather. It's going to be up to 71 tomorrow. So, crazy weather. Kind of like Oklahoma. I kid you not, when I was in Oklahoma many years ago, when I was still a young soldier, I watched all 4 seasons in one day. Out on the training range. Everything from sleet, snow, rain, cold, windy, to bright, sunshiny, warm, and then straight out hot. Craziest thing I ever saw. But anyway, we're back at it again for another day. Special shout out to all law enforcement officers today. Today is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. So to all the men and women put on a badge, get up every day and go out there and protect us, you are certainly appreciated from this channel. God bless you, your families, and your efforts each and every day. Pray today you stay safe out there and that all of you make it to end of shift and go home. Just keep that in mind, folks. Today is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. So if you get a chance and you can personally show your appreciation to some law enforcement officials, by all means do so. Sadly, in this country, so many of them don't get the fair shake. It's not even funny. Yeah, it's like anything else. You got good and bad in all organizations, but the majority as a whole, every law enforcement officer takes the job. They're not doing it for the pay. But anyhow, I want to give a special shout out to Free Spirit News. She's getting a new prosthetic this week and going to be able to get up and be a little more mobile. And I know she's excited for it, and we're excited for her for that. So, if you haven't checked her channel out, go over and check her channel. She's got a lot of great content. She stays up to date on a lot of things, prepping wise and everything else. Just go check her out. Anyway. So, World War III didn't start, folks, like we talked about yesterday. But again, I'm reading up on some things, and of course, I'm going to rant on Nancy Pelosi again today, because that drunk old biddy needs to retire and go back to California and embellish herself in her winery while she whines. Get it? Haha. Because again, she's basically demanding that Mitch McConnell tell her or assure her that certain things will be done in the Senate trial if the Senate ever receives the impeachment articles. And Mitch McConnell's like, nope, ain't gonna happen. And yet she still holds on to him. Wasting government money, wasting taxpayers' dollars, time, effort. Her and old corrupt Adam Schiff railroaded the House hearings. Him and his entourage, if you will. Biggest sham perpetrated on the American people. For all the Donald Trump haters out there, just get over it. The man's the president. The level of hatred that keeps showing itself towards him is just... Ugh. Anyway. Nancy Pelosi just needs to retire. And I really hope and pray California wakes up soon, because it's a beautiful state. It really is. And I haven't been there in years, but what I remember of it is an extremely gorgeous state. When I was a child, we got to go to Seattle, Washington. My mama's sister lived up there. So we hooked up our camper in Atlanta, Georgia, and we drove to Seattle, Washington. Mama wanted to go see her sister, and off we went. I saw more of a nation in one summer than most people see in a lifetime. I think I've told y'all that before. I got to see the Grand Canyon. I got to see the St. Louis Cardinals game. I got Stan Musial's autograph. Younger kids probably do not know who Stan Musial was, but some of the older folks that watch the channel might remember who or heard of Stan Musial. If not, go check out some baseball history. Had a very unique batting stance. Got to go through Colorado and Wyoming, Oregon, Idaho. Got to see the salmon swimming up the river in the Columbia River. Got to see Mount Rainier in all of its glory. You know, got to go up top of Space Needle in Seattle. We come back down through California, went through the redwood forest. Got to go through one of them big old tree trunks that was hollowed out that the car could pass through. Went to the petrified forest. Went through the painted desert. You never got to do it. And I just remember Northern California and the Great Redwoods, just beautiful. Oh my Lord, it was beautiful. Green and lush. And even when we went through the other parts of the state, when we started making our hook to come back east, still beautiful. Beautiful. Hot, but beautiful. So yeah, I'm hoping that, and I say the people of California, it's not necessarily the entire state of California, the people. It's those large uber population centers is what I call them. Same crowd that cries for the popular vote instead of the electoral college. I was watching a couple colleagues of mine on Facebook the other day. I say colleagues, former colleagues. In the Army with these two gentlemen. Arguing. One was arguing about the need for the electoral college. The other one was just really babbling that the popular vote is what needs to count because the electoral college is corrupt. It's what keeps places like Chicago, New York City, and Atlanta, Georgia, and Los Angeles, and St. Louis, and all the big cities from running an entire nation. That's why there's the Electoral College. Every state gets a fair representation of their citizens' viewpoints. But in the same token, I look at what's going on. Keep reading the reports about the mess in San Francisco. Of course, that's the Speaker's district. But then let's flip the script to the East Coast. You got the late Elijah Cummings, who passed, representative of Baltimore District, and you go through there. There's a young lady that is running for his seat by the name of Kimberly Placek. She is running to get his seat in the next upcoming election, and she's a conservative. And she's going through all these Baltimore neighborhoods, and there's some interviews that are going on, and the people are being asked, what did you think of Representative Cummings? Never saw him. You mean you've never saw your elected representative ever in your neighborhoods? Nope. What about these programs you promised you? Never happened. And of course, some of the neighborhoods are just rat infested, trashy. And granted, Baltimore's got a whole slew of problems with corrupt politicians. Not just a specific area that the late Representative Cummings represented. Baltimore is, I guess, for the last 30 years has had corruption issues. Let's put it that way. And it really makes me sad for the people of Baltimore that live there, that work there, that love their city, that love their town, that they can't get a fair shake out of their elected representation. You got I think she was the former mayor who just recently resigned because of a scandal where something about selling a book to the University of Maryland, a children's book, and it was kind of a quid pro quo. You buy them a book and blah, 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 and long story short, a whole bunch of stuff come out, and she's been indicted, I believe. But then the mayor before her, and I think there's some councilmen, or whatever they call them in Baltimore, city council, commission, alderman, whatever. They're on corruption charges too. And and then I think there's a Republican in the House that just resigned his seat because he got hemmed up in a campaign finance scandal where he used $155,000 of campaign funds for personal vacation and other stuff. I'm thought to myself, why don't I just abolish the parties? Part of me said, just do away with the parties. But that'd be another story for another time. But and back, let's tie it back to Representative Pelosi, the House Speaker. You got to remember, folks, this is the same idiot that when they were passing the Affordable Care Act, that come out and saying, we have to pass the bill to see what's in the bill. What? But yet, that was when the liberals had control of both the House, the Senate, and the White House. It still amazes me that more legislation didn't get passed that could have. I'm still a little befuddled on, considering they had the prime opportunity. They could have really railroaded it through, like they did with the Affordable Care Act. Now, there are going to be people who say the Affordable Care Act was the greatest thing since sliced bread, but tell that to all the people whose insurance rates tripled overnight. People who lost coverage and lost their preferred provider. The people that had to pay that stupid fine because it was considered, because the chief justice basically weighed in and stated that it's not a fine, it's a tax. To this day, I still don't understand that one. Other than it's legislation from the bench, which is unconstitutional in and of itself. And it just makes me to this day still wonder what that administration had on Chief Justice Roberts for him to come out and that's just my opinion, folks, my opinion. Because anybody with a lick of common sense to this day will still tell you that bill, when it got passed, was unconstitutional. And how and why, it's another story for another time, I guess. But I'm just the ilk of Nancy Pelosi and her so-called justification for getting that particular bill passed to now basically she wants her cake and eat it too with this impeachment process. Well, you know what, lady, you're not going to get it. So either hand over the articles with the managers or drop the whole darn matter and get back to working for the United States of America and the people that elected you to office, and take care of your district in San Francisco, so the people in that town can clean it up and bring back a level of pride to it that once was there. I'll be the first one to say that in this nation shouldn't anybody be homeless unless it's by choice. And there's got to be a way to figure it out there, other than taxing people to death. California, Jerry Brown. That seems to be the solution, that they keep raising taxes. They keep throwing money at the problems they've got out there, and that's the whole bit with Nancy Pelosi. You know, everything's always let's raise taxes. Tax the rich, tax the rich. Well, you know, she's like the pot calling the kettle. I'll be the first one to tell you, taxes are a necessary evil for the administration of the country. But it's not the end-all solution to finance everything that we do. Sorry, tangent. But anyway, folks. I don't want to touch base on that one again, because that one still, it just aggravates me that, you know, she's sitting there making these demands where she has no power, no authority, but thinks she can go and make demands. Basically, that's basically what she's doing, is making demands of the Senate on how the Senate ought to conduct a trial. Well, Nancy, if that's how you feel, then resign your seat in the House and go run for a Senate seat from your state. And then once you get in there and you can work your way in, oh, wait a minute, I forgot. You're too darn old. Your mind is already starting to slip, lady. I take that back, folks. I shouldn't say that. That's age discrimination. Some of the people I know in this world got the sharpest mind are well on in their years. But Nancy Pelosi's case, though, she's out there in outer space somewhere, floating off in some imaginary utopia. Everybody's all getting along, I guess. I don't know. But she's certainly acting like a spoiled brat. Her and all of them. Then let's talk about two other things. Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. Both of them need to be brought up on charges for treason. For treason and sedation. And inciting rebellion. I really do believe they need to be brought up on those charges. Neither one of them got America's best interest in their heart or their mind. And folks, I'll close it on that one. Today's just kind of one of those days. Just feeling kind of blah this morning. Been up since 3 o'clock this morning, Eastern time. My body woke up and said, get out of bed, and so it did. Anyway, just remember today's National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. Get a chance, try to personally thank or show your appreciation to a law enforcement officer today, if you get the time or the opportunity. Likewise, you know, remember men and women in uniform that are serving today around the world, protecting us from tyranny. Just ask that you remember those folks, their families. And as always, charities that ask you to support, tunnelstotowers.org, Valor for Vets, Folds of Honor, and Pin Up for Vets. They can't do it by themselves. Anything you can do to help them would greatly be appreciated. Likewise, vendors, Money Quick Pawn, Rayford Road in Fayetteville, North Carolina, Robert's Custom Woodwork, and Unsung Patriot on Etsy. And if you haven't done so, get one of my t-shirts or get one of my books. All the links and stuff down there, down below, somewhere down there in the description block. Hit the like button if you could. Hit the subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and share the videos. I'd appreciate it. Appreciate you watching. Till tomorrow, God bless. Take care. Old Soldier out.